Hey everybody, I'm Todd Banner. Welcome to my channel. Well, I got lucky this week because I had received a summons to be a standby juror this week. And at least here in Cook County, how that works is if you're a standby juror, you have to call a number the evening before you're to report, and you find out if indeed you're going to get called. And my part of the alphabet, last name wise, wasn't called, so I didn't have to do that. But it was interesting. It reminds me of the first time that I actually served on a jury, and where my photography background actually came into play in deciding the case. So what happened was it was a minor accident, and it wasn't entirely clear whose fault it was. And it was at one of these areas where they really didn't do a good job of doing traffic engineering, because if it had been set up the right way, this probably wouldn't have happened. But anyway, it was a minor accident. But the plaintiff was suing the defendant for damages to the vehicle and for around $10,000 in chiropractic expenses. So the plaintiff testified that when they got home, they were in such excruciating pain that, they just were not able to really do anything. But during the same time, they testified that they took photos of the vehicle showing the damage, which is okay, fine. So we end up in the jury room trying to decide the case, and they pass the photos around. And people are really, several people are ready to fine for the plaintiff and have the defendant pay the $10,000 or so in chiropractic expenses. And so we pass around the photographs so we can look at the damage to the vehicle. And it was minor. I mean, the front valence panel, so if you don't know what that is, that's the panel underneath the grille, usually below the bumper. It's usually made out of plastic. It's easily damaged. If you go over a speed bump too hard, you could crack that. So there was damage to the lower part of the front, but it wasn't much, and it would have been several $100s to replace that. But as I said, people were ready to fine in favor of the plaintiff, and I was looking at it and I said, well, hold on a minute here. So the plaintiff testified that they got home and they were in such excruciating pain that they were, not able to do anything. And yet they got a camera that came out and they hunched down so that you could see the damage underneath the grill, because you wouldn't have been able to do that standing up. It's very obvious that this plaintiff had squatted down. Well, I pulled a back muscle once helping my brother move a 36-inch CRT TV. And, now that we have flat panels, which weigh next to nothing, those of you who haven't seen a 36-inch CRT TV, it's really heavy. And so I was helping him move it and pulled a back muscle. And I'm telling you, I was in such pain. There's no way I was going to be crouching down to get photos of anything. So when I pointed that out, everybody was like, oh. And we found for the defendant. So then I'm walking out of the courtroom, and the defendant's attorney says to me, thank you, and then says, why did you fine for us? And so I explained the whole thing about the pain and crouching down, and her eyes got really big, and she's like, oh. So you never know when your photography background might come into play in a situation other than photography. And I thought this was kind of interesting. Folks might like to hear about it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. And I'm working on new content in the next, that'll be up in the next week or two. So I will see you next time.